In Psalm 127, there's a bit of a strange verse there in verse 1. It says, "Unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain." So, what we see in this one verse is what we see in really all of Scripture, this juxtaposition of God's sovereignty and God's action and man's action. And so, on the one hand, it's saying that we build the house. And on the other hand, it's saying, unless the Lord builds the house, those who think they're building it labor in vain. Now, I don't think he's just talking about in this psalm just about a physical house. He's talking about us building our families and our lives and our households. And so there's this idea in Scripture is that we need to trust in God's providential, sovereign care of us as we're going about the life work of raising children and building our homes. So we just had Mother's Day. We just celebrated Mother's Day. This is a time for us to reflect upon this idea that in our work, in our labor, in parenting and mothering for sure, we can kind of get this idea that it's laborious and that it's difficult and that it's hard and it's hard for us to sense that there's any help and that sort of thing. And so the Scripture would tell us that God is at work also. So today, I don't know where you are in your parenting, if you kind of feel like you're laboring all by yourself, maybe certainly when children are little and they're so dependent upon you for every little thing. It's hard. Take it from an old guy who has been through that season of life. You're probably doing a better job of parenting than you realize. If you had asked me in my late 20s, "Hey Dan, how do you think you and Linda are doing in the parenting thing?" I would have said, "I don't know. It's a struggle. I don't know how things are going." I can tell you now at this old age where all my kids are in their 30s that things have gone incredibly well. And that's not mine and Linda's fault, though we did seek to honor the Lord and to raise our kids in a godly way. Most of the blame for the progress with our children is that while we were working, God was at work. So unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain. So today I would like for you to realize that fact that yes, you're working, but God is at work too, and God is awesome and great. God is able to do so much more with your weaknesses and your failings and your difficulties in parenting that you need to see that God is at work too. So it's not just dependent upon you. Have some hope, have some confidence in God today. God is at work in your parenting. Blessings to you today. Have a great one.